I just want to say thank you to Colonel Parker and his team, his public works team, and to our staff in the city, and Ms. McGinnis is here, and Alderman for the downtown. Another good partnership around the Quad Cities, and in this case Davenport and the Rock Island Arsenal. Colonel Parker and your team, thank you for working with us to make access. It's kind of, we're talking about access and moving people. This does that in a very simplistic way. We've already observed some cars either trying to get on the Arsenal or just making their way, right? But it helps with safety. It helps with easier flow of traffic and movement. So we're happy that we're able to work with you to do that. And of course, you know, most of the folks that work on the Arsenal don't live on the Arsenal. They either live in Illinois or Iowa. Majority live over here. So any way we can help facilitate and work with you guys because you're our neighbors, you're our friends. Of course, you serve. So we are just proud to work. And we're going to continue. We're already talking about how to add some nice things here as the roundabout. So thank you very much, and thank you to your team.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, my appreciation on behalf of the team and the Arsenal and General Henson, our senior commander. This is about improving safety. This is about improving access. This is about, really trying to be a broader part of the Quad Cities community. When you look at what Davenport's doing with the revitalization downtown and the part and the quality of life component that we can bring for our families and soldiers that live on the island and get them out into the community, I think this is a very small but significant project that we've been able to work with your team on. And I know, like you mentioned, we're happy to do so again and often in the future with you and the other Quad City partners. And so, this is one small step. We're going to look at a couple of options, maybe beautify it up a little bit more. We're going to work with the Historical Society, try and bring some more of our history back in this area and showcase it for the community and highlight all the significant efforts that the Quad Cities and the Arsenal has given to our nation. So again, for this project and all the ones to come, really do appreciate your team's support and honestly the community's patience, because I know sometimes it's frustrating, but seeing these things up is a sign of progress. It's meant to improve quality of life, ease of use, safety, and all those types of things. And so we're very happy that we're here today to open it for everybody. And again, just thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I'm sure this will be the soundbite that everybody really wants to hear. So what's going on with the bridge? Colonel Joe Parker, Garrison Commander. That's right. So I'm that guy. So look, we are trying our best to get this thing open as quickly as possible. And I know the interest, I know the significance, the historical value, and just quite frankly, the convenience factor for the community on getting this bridge open. But the reality is we've got a bridge that's over 130, 40 years old, and it needs love. And so our team is working tirelessly. We actually have the original manufacturers, Majewski and Masters out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The original folks that built this bridge back in the 1800s are on site here in the coming weeks to help us work some well-needed maintenance and refurbishment of some of the mechanical components of the bridge. We fully anticipate in the next 3 to 4 weeks of getting it back up to fully operational capability. It will be available for pedestrian traffic as it is right now, pending any barge traffic that will require us to open it. But our number one thing right now is to minimize the number of turns just based on what the stress puts on the mechanical portions of the bridge. And so as soon as it is viable for us to get this thing back up to where it's fully open and operational, we're going to do that. But I do have to reiterate that the safety and the ability for us to keep this bridge up and operational is really paramount to us, and the quality of life and the convenience factor. And so I apologize for not having better news on the bridge. This is a great achievement today, but I can tell you my team and the entire Arsenal team are working tirelessly to get that thing open so we can get back to the way things work. So
we appreciate you just to give us a little timeline.
Yeah,
so,
no, absolutely.
So at least we kind of have an idea. So that's good.
Right. So
we fully understand the old things.
It's not old.
That here.
It's historic.
Historic. Ms. McGinnis usually corrects me on that too, also. So, yep, it's historic. But we get that in our city too. Some historic things need more attention, and we get that. So, I guess if it's all right with you,
no, please.
If you guys have questions of the Colonel or anybody else, or maybe some of the experts. We're talking, but the experts are over there.
Does this impact barge traffic?
So barge traffic. So when we look at our priorities for the bridge, the mechanical components and the safety and the structural, the structural components of the bridge are our number one priority. It will not impact barge traffic as we know right now. Our desire to minimize the number of turns is directly in relation to the fact that the barges take prominence over any traffic across. So again, going back to Abraham Lincoln in the court case many years ago, that determined, hey, barges and the Mississippi River traffic takes prominence over any rail or any traffic. And so we're trying to work with the Coast Guard and all the partners that have anything to do with the bridge to minimize and kind of sequence how we get the barges through, so we don't have to turn this thing quite as many times. It's not going to fall apart. It's not going to sink into the Mississippi. We're just at a point where we want to minimize, the number of turns just for our use, wear and tear, until we can get a permanent fix on the bridge that'll, extend that life, another 20-30 years before we have to talk about this again.
So will the bridge be open a lot of times?
It may. And so what we're doing, I can't give you a definitive answer on that right now. We're currently talking with the Coast Guard. We're trying to figure out, kind of balance out how we work that. It's our intent to try and keep it like this as often as possible, but we are in the peak barge season. And so if push comes to shove, we may have to keep it in the open position. We're doing everything we can to find a way for that not to be the case, because I know from a pedestrian and a biker standpoint, there's significant interest on our ability to use this to get back and forth, and we want to do that. But again, the welfare and the maintenance of that bridge is our number